Mr. Mateer, you told us Ken Paxton was your friend.
He became my friend, yes.
And you were trying to protect him?
That's correct, sir.
And you were trying to protect him from himself?
Correct.
And when you found out that this young man, Brandon Kamek, had sent a subpoena to a bank, you guys sent everybody on the 8th floor home and had a meeting, right?
I don't recall us sending everybody home. I do recall we had a meeting.
And in order to protect Ken Paxton, what you did was then call the FBI, right? That's how you protected your friend.
That's not correct, sir.
Did you not go to the FBI thereafter?
Not that day, sir.
What day?
The next day, sir.
Okay. Did you talk to Ken Paxton before you went to the FBI?
General Paxton was out of state.
Did you talk to Ken Paxton before you went to the FBI?
I talked to him on the 28th, yes.
Sir, listen, you found out that Brandon Kamek had served a subpoena on a bank, right? Right?
That is correct, yes.
You thought it was a crisis situation, right?
That is correct, sir.
You rallied the troops together and had a meeting, right?
We had a meeting, yes, sir.
The next day you went to the FBI.
We did, yes, sir.
Did you, after your meeting, talk to Ken Paxton?
I did not talk to Ken Paxton.
Okay, so in order to help your friend, a guy that had given you a really plum of a job, instead of asking him some questions, you instead circled up and decided to go to the FBI. That's what happened, right?
I did have conversations with General Paxton.
Not after that meeting, right?
Not after the meeting on the 29th, correct, sir.
You had no clue that Brandon Kamek had received a second referral from the DA's office, did you?
I did not.
You were wondering why they were serving subpoenas on a bank when the complaint that you knew about had to do with the FBI and the magistrate judge, right?
That's correct.
You had no clue that there had been a second referral from the DA's office directly to Brandon Kamek. Isn't that right?
That's right. No one had shared that with us.
So you thought this Kamek fellow is sending subpoenas to banks related to some FBI thing, right?
I didn't know what he was doing.
You know how you could have found out? You know how you could have found out? You could have picked up the phone and called your boss and said, hey, boss, what's up with this Brandon Kamek? He sent a subpoena to a bank. And he could have told you, well, I have the authority to sign a contract because I am the elected AG, and he's sending subpoenas based on a second referral. You could have done that, right?
I could have done that.
But instead what you did was rally your troops, get your stories together, and go to the FBI. Isn't that right?
That's not how I'd characterize it.
Did you also talk to Dick Trabolsi?
Not at that time, no.
How soon after that did you talk to Dick Trabolsi? You know who I'm talking about, don't you?
It's the leader.
Tell us who he is.
I believe he's the leader of Texans for Lawsuit Reform.
He sent you a text, didn't he?
He sent me a text after I resigned.
A text of support?
I got many texts of support. He was one of them, yes.
Where are your texts, by the way?
I don't keep texts.
What do you mean by that, you don't keep texts? You deleted your texts?
After I left the Attorney General's office, when I'm no longer employed at the Attorney General's office, I didn't keep texts.
You didn't think anybody might want to look at your texts?
I adhere to zero inbox policy. And I think anybody who's ever worked for me knows that.
Is that right?
That's right.
So just so we're all clear, and everybody's watching is clear, you were having conversations with the leader of Texans for Lawsuit Reform, who was showing support for you after you'd went to the FBI and resigned, right?
I had one text message that I received from Mr. Trabolsi after I resigned.
How did he have your phone number? I thought you weren't the kind of person that would talk to people like that. How did he have your phone number?
A lot of people have my phone number. Probably General Paxton gave it to him at one time.
You know we do have some of your texts, don't you?
I mean, I assume you do if others produce them. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we don't have any from you because you say that you delete them. Tell me how you delete them, by the way, because that seems like a challenge. How do you delete every text that's sent to you?
I look at email, I look at texts every day, okay, within a 24-hour time period. If it requires an action, I then note it as a to-do item. If it's unrelated to anything, then I delete. That's been my policy for a year, sir.
Wow, you worked for the government, right?
Well, this was after I worked for the government.
Right, after you were no longer working for the government, you deleted your texts. Is that what you're telling me? Or you delete them real time?
I delete them basically real time within a period of time.
Did anybody else in the office do that, or was that just your practice?
Well, the other person that probably did that was the Attorney General.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Did he have a burner phone, by the way?
You know, someone mentioned that to me at one time.
Who mentioned that? You read about that in the newspaper?
No, I don't think I read about it in the newspaper. It would have either been Mr. Wicker or Mr. Rylander.
Mr. Ricker didn't mention it to you because he was questioned. He said he didn't know what a burner phone was. Who told you that he had a burner phone?
Again, my best recollection would have been Mr. Wicker or Mr. Rylander.
Did you ever see a burner phone?
I know the Attorney General had several phones. I don't know, what a burner phone. You
know what a burner phone is. This would be a burner phone. You can go to 7-Eleven, you can buy it, you use it for a certain amount of minutes, you throw it in the trash. That's called a burner phone.
Okay.
You ever see Ken Paxton with a burner phone?
He had a flip phone.
Did you ever see a burner phone? One that he bought at 7-Eleven so he could do some sort of illicit business?
I don't know, sir.
Okay. How about a secret email address? You ever see him with a secret email address?
He had a Proton email address.
Didn't you have a Proton email address?
I sure did, yes.
Oh, goodness gracious. So he had the same kind of email address that you had.
Okay.
We've been told that's a secret email address, but you had the same kind of email address, didn't you?
I think a lot of people had them.
Sure.
I think your co-counsel has one.
They do have it. You know why people use a Proton email address?
Because I know why we did, because we were concerned that Google might be monitoring our conversations. We were investigating Google.
Right. And also Ken Paxton and several others went to China and they wanted to make sure that their email did not get hacked, right?
Okay, correct.
But yet this board of managers, the House of Managers, claims that that's some kind of secret, weird thing to do, and everybody in the office was doing it. Isn't that right?
Well, I don't think everybody in the office was doing it, but there were some, yes.
Sure.